Alright, Rich Van Tassel here with you. Today is Sunday, February 14th, 2016, doing a flash news alert. We usually don't do stuff on the weekends. We saw this. Peyton Manning has been, had a Title IX lawsuit filed against him for something that happened at the University of Tennessee. Now, I was reading an article about this just before, probably about an hour ago. I started reading it about what happened. It was a trainer. She was a doctor at the time. She was one of the athletic trainers for the University of Tennessee. And when Peyton Manning was being, having his ankle taped or something, he put his testicles on her face or something. It was dismissed. She had left the University of Tennessee, went to another college. Then years later, Peyton Manning referenced her in a book. And then there was another lawsuit filed because they'd signed a confidentiality agreement that they wouldn't discuss it. So after he violated that, that's when the lawsuit came to pass. It's a little interesting. I was reading the things. It was talking, the headline was what really grabbed me. It was talking about how Archie Manning went into it and really tried to discredit her, and same with Peyton Manning and all this. So I really wanted to read it. I was a bit curious. Now, I'm not condoning what Peyton Manning did, assuming that the story is true and everything that she says happened. But, I mean, we're talking about a college student here, so I'm going to give him a bit of a pass in that regard. Now, you can't be doing that, obviously. It's not something that can be done, but it's not like this is something that happened, 3 weeks ago as, a long-time professional quarterback and certainly a mature adult. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass on the naivety of things. I talked about how Archie Manning and Peyton were really trying to discredit her. They did it to some extent. It was nowhere near as nefarious as, the headline would have you believe. They shouldn't be doing it either way. I don't really like when people try to discredit other people because they did something wrong. Peyton Manning couldn't really get the support of many of the people who he wanted to back up his story. They were talking about one thing. He was claiming that he was just trying to moon someone, a teammate, and it was an accident that had happened. Like, he had just dropped his pants while she was taping his ankles, and, it was just a bit of foolishness that occurred because he was mooning someone. No one backed up his story. Then they tried to discredit her by saying she had a vulgar mouth, which that came out in the later court case when they went to, or broke the confidentiality agreement. That's what happened with that. No, vulgar mouth, are you really discrediting her reputation? I guess in some extent she did lose her job at the other college. I believe it was Florida Southern or something along those lines. But what was really damaging is they said that she was sleeping with black students while she was a member of Tennessee, and Peyton Manning went out and did that. Now, that I have the big problem with. If you can't prove something like that and you're just doing it to discredit someone, then that's really a cause for concern, in my opinion. So it doesn't really surprise me. I've always, liked Peyton Manning as one of the players. It doesn't surprise me that someone like Archie Manning would come out and do this. He's a guy who thinks he has a lot of power. It's like, you don't really have a lot of power, Archie. You're just the father of a guy who's a quarterback. You're nothing more than that. You're not a politician. You're not a lawyer. You're not a lawmaker. You're nobody. You are simply just a guy who is a parent of famous people. You played quarterback, so you were famous yourself, but you're no first family, okay? Even though we worship the NFL in America, you're not royalty. You're not the Queen of England, and you don't have the right to do things like that. So I don't know what involvement Peyton had in saying that she slept with black students. Apparently, he was encouraged by Archie to do that. And he was, telling the ghostwriter, because that's where it came out for the breach of the confidentiality it came out in a book, and I believe Peyton Manning was saying, told Archie, who repeated it to the writer. So I don't know how much Archie encouraged him to do it, but you would expect this as Archie Manning's hands all over it. So that's the person I really have the biggest beef with. I'm not gonna, like I said, we don't condone what Peyton Manning did. Putting his testicles on a woman's face, and she was like a doctor at the time, so it's real, like, it wasn't just some college student. Like, this was an established professional woman at this point. But he did it, so it was really just completely out of line. But again, he was in college, and a very young guy. So sometimes people do foolish things when they're in their 20s. But for Archie Manning to come out and discredit this woman's reputation is absolutely ridiculous. So that's the person who you should have the biggest problem with. So we'll see what more happens. I hope I shed a little bit more light into what happened. I read the article. You can read the article. It was written by Sean King. That's Sean, Shaun. So you can check that out as well. Hopefully we gave you some of the facts, so we'll just repeat it. I believe it was 1996 or 1997 when the incident happened, where Peyton Manning, while getting his ankle taped by this athletic trainer, put his testicles on her face. When she left the University of Tennessee, they signed a confidentiality agreement not to talk about it, and in 2001, Peyton Manning wrote a book, and I guess she was referenced in the book. And they accused her of using vulgar language and sleeping with black students, and then she sued for an amount that was settled, an undisclosed amount that was settled between the two for the violation of that agreement. So again, that was Sean King, Shaun, who wrote the article. So maybe any of you will check it out, and we'll see how this unfolds. I assume this will not be the last we hear about this, so we'll try to keep you updated. Thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.